Good morning. Let's go ahead and call our project management meeting to order this morning. Thank you everyone for being here. We'll do quick introductions here at the table. I'd first like to introduce our new Public Works Director, Brian Fike. And then I'm Jenny Knight, the City Administrator.
Sarah Wickern, planner.
Matt Robertson, city engineer. Tyler Seaman, building official. Brian Barker, fire department.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and dive into our first item, which is a review of Heavanly Roads Subdivision. And we've got Jed here, and you're engineer, right? Remind me your
Yes.
name, sorry.
Honor.
Thank you for joining us. We've got your latest plat pulled up here, so we'd like to provide some review or comments to you on that. We'd like Sarah and Matt kind of give some.
Yeah, I think, wanted to ask, I know, so we had preliminary approval, I think, over a year ago. Those are good for a year, but there is a 6-month extension available after that year. But that, I think that was July 2024 when that preliminary was given. That 6-month extension would be up here in December, coming up in a couple months, January or so. So we want to, try to help you get the final, so you don't want to start over. I got your updated plans, but I haven't had time to do a full review of it. I did want to ask you where you're at with, said that you sent it to the county.
Yes, they just sent back comments on it,
Okay,
so we're in the process of revising the plat.
okay,
It was a pretty basic comments, a bunch of little wording here, there on the second page.
okay,
They want the private street labeled with all the bearings, and everything like that, because they want to make that a separate parcel.
yeah,
But besides that, I didn't see anything on there that was like throwing everything out the window sort of stuff.
yeah, okay. What about, remind me where you're at with the other service providers as far as, their final.
So we also just got Bona Vista. They sent back, once again, nothing too crazy. They just want me to label some of the water meters better for them to understand what's going on there. I think we'll add valves at certain locations, take away valve at a certain location. And so once again, just some, but they just got that back to us last week as well, so.
Okay.
We'll change that up.
Pineview,
Submitted.
how will that be?
I do know we were chatting with
There's
Pineview.
It's good.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, stuck in a call.
We did chat with Pineview right out of the gate, and that's why I do know they wanted us to run irrigation up 450. That's why we have irrigation in there, because they already have irrigation all the way around the outside of the property. But they wanted to connect their lines for some looping through 450.
Okay.
So that's why we did that. But yeah, I haven't heard any other stuff from Pineview up to this point on it, so.
Dan, do you know where that's at as far as?
Yeah.
The review of their plans or have they done?
They just paid for the review fee this week, so I haven't had a chance to really look at it much. I was looking at it a little bit this morning. And saw that they have lines in there. I wasn't able to follow it very much.
Okay, and then the other approval letters, I don't know that I've seen Varsity Fire yet. Is, maybe you have it, I just listed that on our preliminary one, and I don't know if that's.
I can write one. This is small, not a complaint. We have to legally serve this area regardless. I mean, it's in our boundaries, so it's easy to write a letter.
That's more of a statement.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
we have to do it. Yep.
Right, but as far as the review of
Oh, I haven't, this is the first time I've seen these plans.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what I was wondering, if you'd be able to review it for your access.
Yeah, I can look at it. I don't see an issue with the access, though.
There's no issue with these lanes.
No, you got a side street.
Well, this is just the,
Well, radius, that, okay. It shouldn't be an issue,
that's just the flats.
but I'll look at it.
Okay. Okay, so all those approval letters, they're gonna, we're gonna need those before we do final approval from the city.
Okay.
Your final approval with the city will just come from basically this committee here, our administrative planning authority. Doesn't have to go back to any public meeting at all, just needs to get approval here. So just get those approval letters over to us as soon as you can, and then I'll follow up on. I looked through some of your responses. I know one that we brought up that maybe is worth discussion here is the parking.
Yes, that's actually one, yeah, but.
Yeah,
So I did add 3, so we did move that one parking lot, which the parking lot doesn't get shown on the plat either. But before it was coming out on the 450, you guys asked that we moved that to come off of the private street so that then more people realized it was a private parking lot. So we did that. I twisted it to tie onto that 2184th Street private street, and then I also jammed 3 more parking stalls in there. Because I do know the city asked to possibly add more parking onto the private streets further to the east. My main reason that I don't love that idea is those extent, we've just talking about fire. Those dead end streets are already right at the one, they're a little bit less than 150. So if I extend those private roads around, maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but my understanding is if I do that, then I need to mess with fire turnarounds also back there as well, just in case the fire truck drives down that road.
we're
That's
talking,
our,
you're
yeah.
talking right up here.
yeah, any in that
These two-
area, yeah.
This is parking right here and here, and then you have all this common area. in between.
Uh-huh.
The concern, obviously from our side is that there's not enough visitor parking in here and that, especially that 450 west where especially the homes on the east side are the front of them, right? They're rear loaded to the alley, but front all face the street.
One
We
thing
don't-
on
We don't
the,
love having the public street just lined with cars.
Yeah. one thing on the, is there a number that you guys normally, because the amount of what we do have. Because I'm not including all those units down there have their driveways, so they'll have driveways plus their 2-car garages. And that'll be where their visitors park, probably in their driveways.
Right.
But of those upper units, they all have 2-car garages. And then I think I have it written on there as like 0.6 per unit. After that, in terms of visitor parking, which the normal city requirement that I'm used to across the board is somewhere around 2.5 per unit. And so we're at 2.69 per unit. So that's why I was wondering if actually I'm already above what I'm used to in other cities in terms of visitor parking.
What I'm really concerned about is those garages interior dimension is only gonna be about 20 feet wide. You can't even fit 2 mid-sized vehicles in a garage that size, so we're looking at 1-car garages effectively through those. So I'm new to this project, I didn't see it before, but I'm really concerned about the width of those properties that don't have driveways, because I don't feel that the garages are actually usable for 2 cars. So I would wanna go even heavier on the parking, because really we're looking at, they only have 1-car parking ability in each one of those units. So either making those units to 25 feet like the other units would help, so that you could actually fit 2 cars in them. Or really upping the parking surrounding the area, cause it's just not viable.
Yeah, and to give you an idea on some of our other developments, like, we've tried to rewire and. Right, we've been trying to figure this out as we see more and more of these developments, but just to give you an example, like the golf course development, we tried to have, if it was a 2-car garage, we wanted 2 additional parking spots. Which was closer to 4. They didn't get quite up to that. I know that's a high number, but that's what we've been trying to get towards, because we know that these garages get full of people's junk and they don't park in. And that's just the reality of it.
do that?
I know, right? And so then, honestly, on something like this, and we do have our, our winter restrictions where they can't park on the street and, but enforcement gets hard and we just know, something like this, that, especially that 450 is just gonna be lined with, that east side of 450 is gonna be lined with cars, for all those units right there.
And it makes it difficult when the people across the street want to have any sort of delivery or even, it's Sunday night, Utah, have their family over. If the street is lined with the residents, and there's nowhere for visitors to park, it gets a little bit difficult. And I guess like from a long-term standpoint, we really want to see higher density housing go in. But when the parking becomes an issue, we keep getting more and more pushback from residents. We want the residents to come to the higher density housing. But if the parking gets overloaded, they push back and then we can't approve, we get different feedback from our residents and then it's harder to get these projects through.
So one,
Sorry, quick question, that the 480.
430.
430, oh, okay. Construction drawings, should be. Do those all have driveways?
No, I think they're all just straight. They might have a 2-foot strip. Sometimes we hold it off so that then you can build the road, then build the building after the road's built.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't have any form of driveway that a car can park on.
Okay.
So one thing that I would like to do probably then, if Jeff's okay with it, in order to get more parking, because I have the issue of turnaround for the fire, is what I'd probably do is I would actually connect 2260 and 2180 with the private road along that east end, so that way the fire truck can twist all the way around. That would provide more parking. The only thing that does, it doesn't hurt our playgrounds you can they should bash and do all types of stuff with. We did have a double pickleball court up there. And the double pickleball court now won't fit. I could probably rip it in half and do a single, do 2 singles. So you
Well, you
can
can
have 2
do-
single
Right.
like that.
Cause you could do, right, instead of them stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
They
They stack
that way, right?
If you're okay with all that.
Along ways.
Anything the city wants.
Okay, great.
Wow.
Is there a number? Is there a number on parking that we would all be, so if I counted all those garages as 1-car garages. And I counted all my other stalls. I don't know if we'll hit 4 per unit. That's
Yeah,
doubling what I have already right now.
right.
But is there like if we hit 3 per unit, everyone's happy across the board?
I would prefer seeing the units wider. I really would prefer seeing those garages useful.
Our only problem with the units going wider is that obliterates 2 of those buildings in the middle completely. Cause they're already.
You
shut in
can
where
go,
they're at.
you can actually connect 5 units instead of just 4.
Yeah,
And so maybe by having like a 5, 5 and a 3 or something, work with the configuration. I'm just really concerned about having useless garages in a project and I think you should be too, as far as viability to sell them.
Or could you do some with 2-car and 1-car garages? We have some projects that are, so that when the homeowner's purchasing it, they know it's a 1-car garage versus that what looks like a 2-car garage, but it's only usable for 1, something like that. We do have a couple projects that have the internal units are 1-car and the exterior.
cause what I could do is if I upsize those outs, 54 to 57, 58 to 61, that The ones going east and west, I have more room.
Yeah,
Play around
definitely
with.
make.
Yeah.
So if I make those 2-car garages, leave all those other 8 buildings to 1 car. And then still get enough parking on the outside from that to meet 3 parking stalls per unit. For that, just that portion, all that down there, they have enough parking. Yeah, all of them up there,
The east portion.
yeah, would that be a viable option?
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd be better, right? And the one thing we do need to remember, I guess, is that this area, was grandfathered into the old R.
Yeah, I already reduced,
Um,
not to interrupt you,
no, you're good.
from the code that when I introduced it, like signed over my easements in the city and Pine View. The amount of units I could have got on was 133. And I've reduced it down to 100
One,
and one.
technically,
I keep forgetting,
I guess it's 100 units.
but
A lot one.
there are actually 20 different garages. And the garage that the individual goes in almost like 60 feet. And so if you use your space right, you can get 2 cars in there. But if it fills up with stuff that's left over from 1970, yeah. But they're wider than what most normal 2-car garages are.
I think 20 feet is the minimum for a 2-car garage. And it just
It's
doesn't
bigger
fit
than
normal
what we're
size
used.
cars, yeah.
Well, but the houses to give, a lot of the houses, I think even my house has a 16-foot. Over 2-car garage opening on it.
Oh,
And so, yes, I fully admit my 16-foot 2-car garage, I don't stick a second car in there, I stick 1 car.
You don't have too much stuff.
You got the van takes a full spot.
And cars are wide.
So, so yeah, and so normal, I can also do like parking stalls are normally 9 feet wide per stall, so you can get 2 cars technically in a 18-foot.
Right.
Width.
yeah. And I think, yeah, I don't think I'd have to double check that'll be old code. It's been a while since I've looked at it.
I don't think you got a car. But I do.
All I do, it's blurry, it's old scan. it's
That's
old,
what I got
but
too.
I have it.
And if I remember it doesn't really.
I don't think it says much
Too
about
much about
Doesn't
that.
say much about parking that part.
So yeah, I don't know. Sir, how you feel, but if we could get up to that 3, 'cause right.
Yeah,
now-
if we can get up to 3, I think that'd be more viable, yeah, sure.
I do still want those pickleball.
What
Is
we'll
that
just
what you
do is
said?
that one, instead of doing a square with two forms. You split them and all have sit on top of each other, so it's a big long. That's it, like, rather than a square.
And what's the offset from 450?
I think it's 20 feet, 25 if you have garages. So the west side is 25, but I think the east side is 20 feet.
Okay, so 20, because I've seen some areas where they kind of put actual parking, so it's not street parking, but they actually do like some angled parking in front of the houses as well, but I don't think they ever do that.
No, so I think we're. Cody, if we can get those, if we can get additional parking in that area, and then I'll go through your other stuff. That was the main one. I think that was the biggest one, right? Yeah. I think the other stuff,
We did want to keep, I know one of the other ops that I know everyone was wanting us to do asphalt to asphalt on the private road rather than have the apron. We prefer to keep the apron. I think it better separates public versus private. And I think I even sized those to 6-inch aprons, so they're more commercial,
right, they would.
commercial grade aprons. That should easily get plenty of the amount of traffic load that goes on to them.
I think I'm okay with that.
Comment here. would like to keep all those in plexus.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. If we only upsize the two wings.
Yeah.
Then
It's a whole bunch
four
of
less.
finance.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just upsize those two, the south end and the north end, to be 25 footers. And we'll just leave that middle.
Can you have this done by next week?
Yes.
Maybe, yes.
By December, we have another meeting.
We want to become by December.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So,
Have another
Yes,
meeting.
hopefully. everything will go ahead.
Put us on it, it'll be done next
So
week. I heard
December
you say
11th.
that it'll be done. I heard it.
December 11th.
Just,
Yes.
reach out right away if you haven't already to these agencies, so you get final approval from.
Yeah.
It'll be fire.
I did.
Find you, Bonnevis.
All that letters, my initial letter is the Rollins sent from north to US.
Yeah.
Further answers.
Yeah, we're having, finalize our county reviews.
Yeah.
Usually then, but
All right, is that all?
Yeah.
Any questions for us?
So besides, so I'm good to probably, if I just do all that, Matt, instead of you going through the construction fronts that I just sent you. If you just wait for me to do this, I'll send you an update so that way we're not playing comment games on what's going on there, so.
next week,
Yeah, hopefully next week.
no. We want to stub our two.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
We'll watch for that.
It was very helpful. Thank you very much.
We don't have anyone here for Oak Hollow. I don't think We do, so we'll welcome them since we have other people here. We'll hold that till the end of the meeting. So that would put us at Gardner Grove Subdivision. Brian and Jace, you want to join us up here at the table? And I know we have, I think Jessica's online.
That group you meet. That's there. Thank you.
Okay, John, right. Go ahead. I'll sit here.
Okay.
So Brian, I know when you emailed this over, you had in bold and the capital letters, so this was not a submittal.
Yeah, I didn't
And
want
here
to
we
be
are.
confused, and here we are. That's okay. I mean, I know that you met with Regina and talked about a few of her concerns.
Mm.
And so we're happy to come in and give an update where we're at. So we'll field whatever questions you have. I think it's gonna be the same question that Matt asked at the first for the last one, which is, what can you guys help us do to get the final? And, we got the addresses from Matt. So the addresses should have been input last night. My surveyor would have gone and put those in, and that was the last thing that we're waiting for. So we'll go ahead and we'll submit the plat for review to Weaver County. Get any comments that they have, incorporate those, but we've gone through the preliminary review with any of the comments that they gave us. And, we've got all those incorporated, and then we'll submit a formal, submittal, for your guys' follow-up review. So, depending on the county, it could be, as early as next week. It just depends on when they get us some review comments back on it. But as far as some general, we've resolved all the issues with the bosses. We've got those recorded. The boundary line agreements along the south. Well, along the south side of the property, we've got all those boundary line agreements recorded and then processed, and they're reflected on the plat. The lot configuration is not gonna change. 1750 north is what it is. We're gonna dedicate that to the city once this is recorded. And like I say, we hope to just have that done, at worst case before the first of the year, so.
Yeah, we were in the same timeline as the previous project, I believe,
Understand.
right?
I
So,
think they got preliminary site meeting.
yeah, so we just want to make sure that we,
And we appreciate that 100%, yeah. And we appreciate you guys being involved with it and understanding what we've been going through with it and working with us on it. We've just kind of been progressing at the pace that we can. And I think we'll have something, like I say, hopefully with the county as early as next week. And try to implement any comments that they have on the plat before we get to the city for final review, but.
What did you, as far as the title reports, Jan said, we
had a Yeah.
conversation about the
She mentioned, I think that's just a requirement in our code, is it? Is it?
Code, yeah, requires
Please feed on that, yeah.
They, I don't always see it, but I think they, I don't know. I think the code requires the title report to be submitted, you know, on the property, but
when the original, from when,
They
yeah, years ago, was
purchased
it, updated title,
I don't know that our code says.
I just want clarification.
I would say, I mean, preferably an updated one in case there's been any easements or anything recorded on property since it's purchased. But. There hasn't been, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great, if you could just do that, just give us a copy as well, and what we'll do is we'll compare the title report against what we've got reflected on the plan, that way they don't have any
Yeah.
conflict elements that come up after.
I'll send you a copy.
And honestly, if you just wanna send us the copy, then what we'll do is we'll just do a formal submit to the city and say, here's the plat, here's the title report, everything just come from one.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think you've already got, like, the most recent thing that I know of is that little drainage easement that Montgomery got back through there, but that's, again, I don't know.
Yeah. And that'll show up probably in the title report, but.
As far as the restoration agreement, the status of that, I mean, I'm kind of new, I'm not this project, just kind of help Regina, but, is that signed by all parties, or is that?
Yeah, that was signed, the spring, I believe, or sometime early summer.
Yeah.
I know Regina had, and Matt wasn't present when we met with Regina earlier this week, but I know she had a question, and I think we clarified that there will be a drive approach to lot 3 as we do the road construction for
Yeah,
1754.
I mean, ideally, the only problem, I guess, with that is if we don't put it in the spot where they want it.
Mhm.
Or
That
if
was-
it's not wide enough for what they want, right? Like, without knowing what's gonna
Who's
go.
gonna
in
go into lot 3?
Lot 3, they may come in and
And
want
I-
something completely different.
I think right now, the intent, and Jay's correct me if I'm wrong, is when 1750 goes through, HHI is not super concerned about, you know, who ends up on lot 3, but they just want to have access across from lot 2 to lot 3. And they don't want to have to be driving up and over the curb.
So we
Yeah,
can
so-
we can add a drive approach, that's no problem when we
Yeah.
do our road project,
Yeah.
and that may get ripped
And
out.
when whoever buys lot 3, if they want it wider, they'll just have to go through and do their development
Yeah.
process with you guys, and if they wanna widen it, they can widen it, if they wanna add one on 3, they'll have to go to UDOT and see where they want that one,
Right.
on 89, sorry, with lot 3. But for right now, HHI just wants to make sure that they have access across what was traditionally their property
Okay.
from lot 2 to lot 3. And I think when I was talking to Regina about it, she even wanted one off of 1750 from lot 2. Just kind of a temporary access drive approach, cut in wherever the city feels that is,
I
right?
think we have the road identified.
Yeah,
on it.
so-
Yeah,
We plan to
you
wrap.
plan to wrap the road, that's fine.
Yeah, that one I think is like
Right here.
more like you're actually doing an approach. I don't know how far.
We're gonna wrap the curb. and
If you
stuff.
guys wrap the curb around, just have a little bit of asphalt, they can come in and they can get their access. So that makes
And then on
sense.
this side, it's to me, I mean, I don't know what the right term is, but like, you know, the double driveway, like 2-car garage kind of thing,
Sure.
trailer, yeah.
Yeah,
I just think that.
we can put in a 20-foot driver.
Yeah.
That'd be great, just to cut. Drive approach, the apron, I don't think we're doing any sidewalk or anything on there yet, so,
That's fine.
yeah.
Right.
Do we want like approaches mirroring each other for lot 4 and lot 3, or is lot 4 going to be accessed from?
Lot 4.
Lot 4 will be pretty much off of 89. There won't-
And the road that probably comes in.
Yeah, and what we're not reflecting on this is,
Okay, so no approach. for
yeah,
lot 4,
in the
just for
second
lot 2.
phase, though, there will be a road that connects from 1750. Kind of along Boss's property there, and it'll come around and tie in.
So that'll be the access.
Yeah, and there might be like an access along the back of lot 4 that kind of connects those commercial units there, but yeah, that's the intent, so.
Right.
But we're not asking for any of that right now, we just wanna make sure that any I mean, 100% transparency. I mean, Regina's still gonna have cattle back there that she leases out to. And they just gotta have access back and across there until she can sell that.
If that works, and that's, yeah, I mean, and this is a little. Sarah, like, this is a little unique, the subdivisions driven more by our need for.
1750.
1750 to go through, they're not necessarily ready to build or
Building.
develop. and-
Yeah, but we understand the timing and one more
Yeah.
than work with the city on it. Yeah, we're great with that.
Right, and like, we're getting this dedicated to the city now, but the cities, I mean, we're looking at.
I mean, that's another unique part of it too, is the city's gonna do the road. We're just dedicating it to them.
As long as you have the access you need.
Yeah, and that's all we're touching to. So if we just get that drive approach, a 20-foot wide would be plenty. Just cut into lot 3.
Yeah.
And we can just show that on the construction plans. If you guys get ready to those.
Another question she had, as far as fencing on the lots 4 and 3, is that, you know? Great.
So I haven't had a chance. I'm glad you asked. We'll check the restoration agreement for lot 3. I don't have an issue with restoring it to what she needs because we're impacting it. I know we did talk about the fence line on lots 2 and 4.
For sure.
So if we've missed something on lot 3, we'll revisit that. Make sure that there's access and that she can still use that lot. Because I think they're, having it fenced off, so that it's still usable to her. I don't know how we missed that, other than the thought was we knew that's probably the first lot she's interested in
That's
selling.
exactly right.
And so-
Yeah, in fact, there's been some like back and forth. They've had people that are super interested in it that have kind of backed off on it. Now the interest isn't as high, but maybe as soon as it records, the interest will go back up again. So to your point, you're exactly right. That's been the case to date, so. But I think at this point, if we could just have a fence along lot 3 with construction of the road, that'd be perfect. Yeah. Yep.
One more thing, she asked about the pond that's been drained, is that the fill of that pond, is that part of the restoration?
That was not included in the restoration agreement.
We may have to do, I need to look at it closer, we may have to fill a portion of it just to get a road built.
You probably will.
Yeah, 'cause your ROW is like right in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when they were out there doing the utility work, the dirt that they were pushing off, I mean, it's just
Sloughing off.
slough right in. So if you're gonna put curb and gutter or anything in there, you're gonna have to go almost to the full width of the right of way and then kind of fill that on a little bit, but just because of the construction of the road.
Right.
So that would be the city's involvement in filling the pond would be what's related to the
Whatever's
roadway. Yeah,
Required for the roadway, outside of that, we can't fill the rest.
Go beyond that.
Right.
We modify the agreement just simply just in that or the restoration. or that
One issue, I think, we don't, I mean, you could end up with, right, like a building over the top of that. And we did want to steer clear of us kind of being the responsible one for that, compaction backfilling of that. I mean, obviously, we want to do it right, but if there was ever an issue and they come back and say, hey, our building's settled, and it's the city's fault because everyone wants to fill this pond. We just want to, I think as far as that pond goes, take care of what we need to for the roadway.
I think the last question I had, she was curious about the timing, or I guess any kind of, that intersection,
Yeah.
what does that look like? Is it-
so the most recent information that the city's received is based on Ben Lomond development across the highway. And they've been very communicative with the city as far as what UDOT has told them. And they said the first 100 units
CFO.
that, I'm assuming C of O, not building permits, because I'm assuming that it's C of O for that. And they've taken out building permits already. So their phase 2A that parallels the highway has been paved and they're taking out building permits. So as soon as they get 100 units, they're gonna require Ben Lomond to put signal in.
Okay, so that will be a Ben Lomond signal, it won't be a UDOT or city, it'll be Ben Lomond.
My understanding is that, we're putting the underground infrastructure in as part of our road project on the west side.
So
And they already put the infrastructure in on the east side. So as far as the vertical, I don't know, that's a developer UDOT.
And it'll probably be the developer.
I think it'll be.
That would be my best
developer
guess.
Page, but then it'll be UDOT.
Install, yeah.
Right, though, yeah. Perfect,
So that's the most recent information we have from them.
that's great.
And then they are almost ready to pay another phase, but they're holding on to it weather. So they won't, so springtime hits, they'll be moving
Yeah,
faster.
constructor in the winter. CFOs maybe in the spring and summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry it was so short a notice, but we wanted to get it on record.
No, like I
So
said, we
that-
have zero issue. Yeah, we just love being involved in the process, and communication's key. And like I said, we just letting you guys know where we're at on things. And I think we're really close. We've got the addresses. We'll get Weaver County, and then you guys shall see a final plat, or hopefully
Right.
as early as next week. Yeah,
Okay.
just as soon as we get comment back.
Or even December 11th, that's our next meeting, so.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, we'll have it to you before then.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Hopefully it
you.
goes quick and easy and
Yeah,
simple reviews and get approved by the end of the year would be awesome.
yeah, we look forward to it as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
Thanks for your partnership.
Yeah.
All right, next we have a walk-in discussion for a potential ADUs or IDU located at 1041 North. So Emily Van. Emily? Van? No, Emily Van. Okay. Let's table that one, and we have another walk-in for potential development on North Street. Kyle? Is that, okay. Let me pull up GeoGizmo. We don't actually have a proposed plat for this discussion. We're just gonna use GeoGizmo. I think it's utility related, right? Come on up to the table if you don't mind.
Okay, so we're doing number 5, right?
Yes. So the parcel, my understanding from my team members is that you're down on North Street and it's a vacant parcel. This one here,
That's
is
it.
that right? That's it. So tell us your intentions or
So-
yeah, what you'd like to do here.
So originally, the property belonged to the 320. It was all one, and it was separated at one time, and we sold that off. And so this one has no utilities whatsoever, and for the time being, we just really want to get some electrical to, because we have two shares of water on the secondary ditch there in front of the property. And we really have no way to let it flood all the way to the back, and we do have most of our garden areas in back there. So we would just really like to get some pumps, some electrical for pumps, that are willing to get water. And get our farm going.
The intention is a small farming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a little market garden there. And
Yeah, exactly.
It is, it's on gate 2 currently.
So, and power is the only utility?
Well, in fact, I would love to do all of them, but.
Eventually
from-
one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. From what I had understood, it was, there was a problem with not bringing utilities on the property until there was address assigned. So we can get an address assigned and bring utilities on, I absolutely go with that.
Yeah, this parcel does not have an address assigned to it.
I mean, it's not hard,
So we can do an address.
right, it's not hard to assign interest.
Sure.
And you've already been in contact with Rocky Mountain? for-
Yeah, actually, I have an active quest with them. That's kind of how we got to this.
So we could do, I guess, an address assignment. And then if you guys, you know, if you get to the point where you wanna get water, sewer, whatever stuff into the property to build, you probably are aware, but it's a Ogden City street.
It is, and I know that the property line is right there for cities there.
So you'd be dealing with Ogden City for any, you know, cuts into the road, any Bonavista, maybe he has a line. No, I can't remember. I can't remember if it's Bonavista or Ogden City Water.
We talked to say yes. That's who we put water bills to, and house there.
You said Bonavista or is Bonavista water, okay,
Yeah, well,
Down
Ogden City
North
has a
Street.
line.
that's efficient.
That was a very interesting area there with like the little your private HOA thing. And city lines there. One thing that I wasn't sure about was sewer. Don't know how far down the main goes. But obviously this log cabin here probably has service there.
So it's actually a central Weaver trunk line that runs right in front of the property.
Okay.
So there is a. Or it's Ogden City. Oh, no, it's Ogden City. Sorry, I lied to you.
It's easy.
But there is one, at least on my maps, it's showing it on that side of the road too, on the north side of the road. Sure. I don't know why I thought it was, oh, no, it is. We have it identified wrong on our GIS map.
Oh, it
It's a central Weaver line. Not crazy. Yeah.
Fix that on that.
Yeah. So, yeah, you have sewer right there, you just have to, contact Central Weaver.
It's on their side of the road.
Yeah, it kind of is right in the middle of the road, and then it
That's
starts moving to the north, kind of right in front of your property.
Are we comfortable with horizontal directional drilling for any of those things, sewer, water?
You'd have to go to Ogden City.
Sure.
Do you need the address from us for Rocky Mountain? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I have about 60 days left to respond to them, except for decline there.
Send that over. We have his contact info.
Yes. I don't know if we have a phone number or an email.
I gave Cynthia.
Okay.
Information.
Perfect, yeah. And we're good. We're good. We'll follow up with you on that affidavit. We'll email it to you after it's been recorded. Any other questions for us?
Fantastic.
Does that work? All right, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for being a meeting block.
Pleasure. Hopefully it doesn't get any more difficult with the future of this project.
Well, I can't
Like
promise you it's
2000.
Ogden City.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The parking too.
No garages. Straight up.
Yeah.
So while we're still in session, do you have any discussion on Oak Hollow you want to have on the record? As far as when did they get their preliminary approval? Do we know? Are they nearing the end of their? They're probably beyond their 12 months. And that's pretty much why we left them on the agenda, was to kind of formally say what their timeline looks like. Because I just, the main issue I have is the buildable area being put back on the plat for the setbacks.
They were, right, and they were doing that. I haven't seen an updated plat, but got the addresses last week. So they've got, it was in August of 24. So they're-
Okay, so they have a little more time than the other projects too. Okay,
They have a 6-month extension that would put them in February.
okay. Well, that's helpful to remember so that we can work through the final items that they have. I think I just forwarded you their Bonavista letter. They've already had their inclusion into Pine View and paid everything to Pine View.
Yep.
And they're not changing any of their plan, their concept plan, sadly.
Sadly, I know.
So,
I know, the hope was they're gonna be selling
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because when he was trying to sell it, and we, with the neighboring properties on Washington in discussion, we were hoping that they would work something out and redo the concept to get that road stuffed up at 900 north on Washington.
It's gonna be hard to develop off of Washington if they don't at least have a utility easement through there.
Yeah.
I don't know what we can do as a city. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. They got,
Options are.
yeah,
I don't,
stormwater sewer,
I don't know.
secondary, whatever.
But that's the next step.
Well, yeah, I mean, lots,
A lot of
There's-
developed.
there's been, yeah, there's been discussion about boundary between commercial and residential, right? This is not a mixed use development.
That's
So
what
call it. And so we don't apply the same rules against that as we do mixed use. And
Right.
so the connection there was not required because it's a residential development.
Right. How about it?
Abutting a commercial, proposed commercial, because it's not even zoned commercial yet. So it was a little tricky during that process, but, okay, so as long as we have on there that their expiration is coming up in February, do you have any other service letters you're waiting for? Northview, I think you already probably submitted your Oak Hollow, so. And I'm pretty sure we have a central leadership. Okay, then did we get reviewed by the county? We heard anything on there?
I'll check. They,
That would be the last thing that comes to my mind on whether they.
Did Bonavista send you one this week?
Uh-huh.
just like a day or
Yeah,
two ago.
just barely.
Cause I talked to them on Monday.
And they haven't so far.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it did come through this week. It might have been.
Maybe it's just talk to them.
Might have been. Big fan.
Yeah.
For nudging them there. Well, we check on that. Does anybody else have anything for project management discussion? Okay. Do
Working
you have
on,
anything?
working on the review for the
Involved?
Taj Mahal.
Right. We're gonna go off record now.
Value engineering.
Okay.